I've loved crafts since I was a kid. Not only when I was working with my head and my hands, but also when I was surfing, sculpting lines in the waves, or running with the ball at my feet, or cycling, flowing with matter and nature, just letting myself go without any kind of fear. Just being and always trying to keep the smile on my face. The smile I've tried to keep and always wanted to share. I have the feeling that I never understood if perfection exists. I believe I prefer to see it as a utopia. I think it depends on the moment, and I want to believe that what is inspiring me is a touch of magic. A touch of magic that we find and learn on the way if we keep most of the time focused on harmony and beauty. That's what it's all about. I would love to see talented craftsmen sharing their knowledge. Not exactly with everyone, but with those who are truly interested and yearning for answers. Sharing knowledge with us younger generations, it's fundamental to preserve an important part of the cultural legacy that we'll soon have in our own hands. And it will also allow curious masters of today to learn and to understand what our generation is perceiving in life and how the future of crafts will be. We have been using our brains in ways that lack touch, a certain type of touch that is more fluid and organic, slow and precise. Technology must allow us to be more interconnected to tri-dimensionality, to actions with different types of rhythms, different touch and movements that we need so much, and where we might find the sustainable path for crafts in syntony with what is for us now the modern world. Crafts bring us back to making. That means to touch things, to feel things differently and thinking differently, more emphatic with nature, the resources we use, and the systems that they and we are a part of.
Thanks. Trying to get too serious and pat myself. I get a lot back from that process of growing it and learning more about it. It's been grown all over the world and developed in different ways all over the world. So it's this endless, fascinating topic of stories and people and process that just becomes really rich. And then if you can try and pull that down and put that into some cloth, then, you know, people want to wear that and want to feel good in that and then want to keep that for a long time, is the hope. When I think about what makes people content, it's usually having something to strive for and being interested in something. Like, I think it's the best, like, if you're ever sad or frustrated, like, if you can just learn something, it immediately turns your headspace around. And so I think that's probably where the wealth lies, is in that place of being inspired and being on a path. You know, like, there is the energy of things. Well, people, if I create something and if I've grown that dye and I've dyed that garment and people are wearing it, I think they do feel more connected to it and they do feel proud of it and they do feel good that they're supporting someone that they know and that they know where it's come from. And I think, you know, that is good energy for them. They feel better. Like, that process is then positive all the way along, which has got to be good. I guess you try to have like an honest energy surrounding your process. And in a way that's happened with blue. Like, I can't quite get past the blue because I connect with it and because it just feels like I've always been blue my whole life. My sister was red and I was blue. And when I started making things, sometimes I make things in different colours, but it's not the same. It's not like that same connection. And that did feel very... And it's the same with indigo, really. It was something that was like a personal connection. And when I lean into that and when I learn more about that, that's when it feels like the energy flows and the inspiration flows. Yeah, it just kind of comes down to what feels right at the end of that process. And I guess when you're thinking about something like a pair of trousers continuously in the back of your mind for months, there's a lot of stuff that just happens, and I guess design is solving problems. And so bit by bit you just refine and refine and refine. Yeah. Until it feels like it doesn't need to be refined anymore, I guess.
So it's this, balancing, like you don't have to be the whole week in the office. Maybe in the middle of the day you just have to run to the beach and give a swim to wake up and find the solution for the problem you were forcing to find. So I think there's a lot also to do in terms of this idea which is imposed to us about what work is supposed to be and what you're supposed to produce, how much. And maybe somebody doesn't want to produce anything in his whole life, and then what's the problem? Like, what's the impact?
This is all a very important factor for cognitive development, especially because crafts create an emotional experience. And it's proven that when there is emotion involved in the learning process, there is more cognitive development that, in the end, can only bring more balance, more mindfulness, more present, more focus, and in the end, more health.
I think it's better than you work too much that you cannot spend the money you earn. You don't see your children growing. You're not the one teaching them or showing them the road. Somebody else that you pay for. And that's very sad. And I think most of people at the end, they look back and they realize the life is past.
Yeah.
I think it's really almost like a movement that we have to do the opposite way, that it's like to slow down to a little bit. It's not to stop, but just to slow down a little bit. Everything, slow down consumption, slow down work. And if we did do that in all levels, it will all work, because it's just everything just going a little bit slower. I think it was already happening that people were more curious about things with more tactility, with more texture, with more, as opposition to our digital life, daily life. You saw in many trends lots of things related to crafts, like trying to imitate, to reach that need that people are having. Yeah, and the information they get is limited, and it's like, I mean, even any person who uses the online, it's all with the algorithms, all these things that you get only the same type of information, so you cannot get out of this. You think the world is dead, that's a big problem indeed.
Now I am who I am, uncomfortable.
Right up to now, to this day, I have been and remain completely entranced by the way that clay can transform from an amorphous blob to a useful object. And the journey that it takes to get between those 2 points is both subtle and complex. You have the wheel, your hands, some clay, some water, air. And those relationships are then guided by your intentions and your presence of mind. The nature of the task being such that you are practicing and repeating daily, you are repeating a difficult task, much like you might meditate. There's no real limit, which inevitably leads to a level of discipline and also humility to your materials and to your self, to your own capabilities. When I started learning pottery, I was totally absorbed in the making, and it became very therapeutic for me over the years. When I began, I was having a really difficult time, and fortunately pottery gave me something to think about, and became very quickly a place of comfort and consolation, where I could do something that felt different and important to me for my own reasons. And I was using my hands and mind in a way that was really very gentle, I suppose. It's a very gentle thing to do. And this helped me be more gentle with myself and with others. There are lots of lessons in pottery that are applicable to life. Lots of analogies to be drawn. You can't really be a potter without learning to let go, because there's just so much that goes wrong. It's really a matter of trial and error and practice and failure, and being okay with it, and really looking with a critical but non-judgmental eye at your work, and being able to say and accept that there are some good ones, there are some less good ones, there are some terrible ones, and there are the ones that do sing and they have life, and they'll let you know when they've been made. They'll say, "I'm here," and you'll say, "Oh yeah, there you are." Can I disappear from them?
Yeah.
Of course.